All right.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the March 13th, 2024 CalPads Q&A. My name is Paul Higgins. I'm a data analyst working at CSES supporting CalPads. Getting started, I think the only announcement I have today is we're still pursuing quite a few LEAs to certify Fall 2, which ends this Friday, the 15th. And we're already, kind of reliving our own Groundhog Day here, since we're revisiting the Fall 2 submissions deadline again. But yeah, this Friday is the deadline, and if you need help, please open a service desk ticket. I think that we've got a grip on everybody that's not certified, but please let us know if you have an issue. Angela, do you have any updates on bugs or other issues or anything else?
I do not, although those folks that were having trouble editing the course enrollment record in online maintenance last week, that should be resolved as of today. We just haven't updated the problem ticket yet.
Right, thank you. All right, I'm going to jump over into said chat box and come up here at the top. All right, we're going to start out at the top. Oh, Sean, I know that you did a lot of talking today at the quarterlies, between yesterday and today. Was there anything you needed to share with this group about the quarterlies or anything that's coming up?
We did update the PowerPoint, and so the latest PowerPoint is in the box drive. We did make some changes and modifications. So yes, thank you. I think Gary's driving. Thank you, Gary, for locating that box. So kindly, you'll see that yes, it is updated today by me. So go ahead and download that PowerPoint specifically for the TK and KN slide. We updated that guidance for testing. I think slide 11. Yeah, somewhere in that area. There you go. 11. Oh, yeah, I was right. 11.
And Alex is driving today.
I'm sorry. Thanks, Alex.
That's okay.
All right, so updated slide 11. Okay, great. Sean, thank you very much. Also, great job on the quarterlies. I know you're probably exhausted. Feel free to zone out in the background. We'll let you know when you got a question.
Yeah, I'll be on type only. That's possible.
All right, getting back in here. 301 Claire, Q1. Can you tell us the exact fields that need to be populated in the CRSE and SCSE fields in order for a course to be identified as a dual enrollment college credit course? Well, let's see here. Oh, good, the FAQ. There you go. Alex has up on the screen the FAQ for how should LEAs report students who earn college credit in the course completion submission. So you'll see that the college credit courses are those 90/20s, 90/82s, all of those that are listed right there at that FAQ. And then you put that into the CRSE record. Let's see, and then if it's dual credit, you're going to identify the 919 course section instructional level code with the 24 dual credit or 23 college credit only. So those are the two that you're going to have to play with there. And Alex, would you put that FAQ in the chat box? I'd appreciate that. All right, getting back over here to the chat box.
I think Paul also, I believe this is also in our EOY data population training. So there's a recording from last year, which is going to be the same for this year. So there's also that resource if that FAQ isn't enough for you, that EOY1 data population would go over it as well.
Thank you, Martha. All right, 301 Q1 from Bhavita. Is it possible to only send Fall 2 certification deadline reminder emails to only those LEAs that have not certified? Or please add a statement that the email is going out to all LEAs. Both of them have certified as well as not certified. Thank you for considering this request. And reading between the lines,
we do say that it's a reminder. So that portion that says it's a reminder is notification for whether you have certified or not certified. And just to get it out, Vivita, we also do send targeted emails as well too to LEAs that have not certified. So just noticing that distinction, that's, to me, that's clarification enough for us.
All right, thanks, Sean. Going down to 301, Soraya Q1. If an administrator at one of our schools is on an interim assignment on census day, do we report the interim assignment, job class, and support code, or their permanent position, job class, and support code? Well, it's, as you point out, it's on census day. CalPeds is reporting what's going on census day. So if it was literally a one-day change that on October 4th, they were literally changing everything they were doing, and then on October 5th, they were returning, that would be a different thing. But if for the entire period spanning, whether it's the semester, the academic year, whatever it is, spanning census day, they were going to be using that non-job classroom job description, then yes, report that. But if it's, literally the next day they're going to be back in that classroom teaching that course, well, then that's different. And then during end of year, you will be reporting everything that happened during the year. So you may have an opportunity to flesh out their assignment history and what they did during the year. Let's see. Okay, Rebecca, 301 Q1. We have multiple students enrolled in a couple of core classes at a middle school, and the course is mapped to 1,000 for self-contained because the majority of this teacher's classes are all self-contained for grades 6, 7, and 8. The majority are all self-contained with this teacher, except for a few students going out to another teacher for math, science, or PE. Does it matter that all of the students are enrolled in the courses mapped to the self-contained, or should the school site have broken them up into classes mapped to 1,000 and ones that were mapped to non-self-contained departmentalized courses for those students that were enrolled with another teacher for some core courses here and there, plus PE courses? All right. I'm sorry. I'm going back and reading that. There's a lot to unpack there. So, all right. So self-contained for grades 7 and 8 is less desirable. Grades K through 6, 1,000 is all we want. Those self-contained courses. 7 and 8 we prefer departmentalized to break out what they're doing, and grades 9 through 12 it's required to do that. For what you're describing, I am not 100% certain that
Pullouts. So they have some itinerant staff that provide, the subject matter as a pullout.
okay.
And if those teachers teaching those pullout courses, if they're marked as 27, they don't have to have students enrolled. They don't need to have a roster, right, reported.
That's correct. They just need to submit that RSP course code for that teacher in the course section,
And she's saying they're not pullouts.
even if they're push in.
She just typed not pullout.
Pull out or push in.
Well, yeah.
You
I
don't
mean, the
attach.
majority of classes in the self-contained, and they only go to these other classes for a couple of things.
Okay. Not sure we actually came to a complete conclusion on that, but it sounds like the consensus is the 27 would be your best option on that. So I would recommend opening a services ticket on it if you're still concerned about this, providing that. Moving on Soraya, I see your Q2, Cassie, yours, Brittany, 303, Q1. Is there something wrong with the data discrepancies running right now? When we run it right now, there is a run start time of 3/12/2024 at 4:04 p.m. with no end time. We have submitted data today and usually check the data discrepancies at least once per day.
Few
You're
people reported it, right, Angela?
Yes, Irvine has the same start time. So we have our dev team looking into it right now, Brittany. It shouldn't be taking that long for sure.
Okay, thank you. 303, Larney, Q1. From the valid code combos document, can you explain how to use the tab for non-classroom based or support assignments, educational service job classification? What is the relationship or validation on this tab from the tab non-classroom based or job support assignment content area category assignment? Is the column C content area category assignment code from this tab related to column K content area category assignment code from the course group master combos tab? Well, on this tab, Alex, would you filter that to show only the actives, please? Thank you. All right, so by looking at only the NAs, we're looking at only the active codes. Now, if you're trying to determine what a valid code combination is, you can go about it a different way. You know, if you know what their job class is, are they an admin, pupil services, a teacher, 27, you know, whatever it is, you can identify it here. If you do that, it will parse it down to only what is available for an administrator in this case and provide the codes. Now, if you know what they're eligible for, but you don't know what credential they hold, which would be odd, you can go the other way. You can identify a non-classroom based support assignment and then see who is eligible to hold that. That's, you know, like employee on leave, it's universal. Anybody can use that. So yeah, that's where we're going. I'm not sure with regard to comparing column C to K to that. If you want a more in-depth analysis on that or answer on that, please put in a service desk ticket because I don't think we can deconstruct the valid code combos in the time allotted.
Paul, I need to go back to a question from 301 that I started answering, but I don't
Okay.
think I answered. So
From
Diane Newlinger.
okay.
Okay. So her Q1 reads, she's the LEA administrator for 3 schools and she needs to know how to change her contact info for 2 of them and how to remove the old LEA admin who retired. So yes, you will submit a CalPADS support ticket and just what you stated that you are not the I'm a little confused because you say you're the CalPADS, the LEA administrator, but maybe you're just not listed, Diane, and you're trying to remove the person who has retired and then possibly add in a secondary person. So yes, just go ahead and submit that CalPADS support ticket requesting the CalPADS application and why the need for the change. And then also you would like to get access for one of your coworkers so she can get some training. That would be within that bridge account. Again, you're only allowed those 2 bridge accounts. Thank you, Alex. You're so wonderful. To have that. That is separate though from the CalPADS LEA admin. And so I just want to make sure we're not confusing those terms as well too. So that's the distinction I wanted to make. So yeah, don't confuse those. Those are 2 separate. Also though, if you're just recommending training for just a CalPADS user, that is, if you are the CalPADS LEA admin, it is your responsibility to train your local CalPADS users. Thank you.
Yeah, and just along with what Sean was saying, if it's just a user, put them into the YouTube channel for now. If you're exceeding your bridge user account, and they can get probably 90% of what all the bridge users are getting. The only thing they're missing out on are the live trainings during like fall 1. So yeah, just put them into that YouTube channel and they're going to get quite a bit out of that while you're getting their accounts squared away. All right. Shelly at 3:04. Oh, excuse me. Shelly at 3:04. Q1, is there another quarterly this week? Nope, there were 4, and the last one finished up just as this one was starting. Rebecca, I see your Q2 at 3:05. At 3:05, Marshall posted the all materials for the regional quarterly update meetings will be available at the following CDE box site link. So he posted that at the 3:05 timestamp. All right. And Alex at the 3:06 timestamp posted the link to that FAQ on how LEAs should report students who earn college credits. All right, Angelina, 3:07 Q1. If I rename the local incident name in our SIS for this year, will this impact the CRS, SOF, or sync files I have not uploaded for this year yet? Rename the local incident name. No, it's, if I recall correctly, local incident ID is a numeric value. I don't think that we actually have an incident name field.
But they have to all be the same, don't they? Across the 3 files? So
Well,
is that
within,
a,
yeah, for within the same incident, yes. Yes.
so is that a SIS maybe? She's got to ask her SIS about that. She's changing something locally.
Yeah, that's probably a great idea to get your SIS involved to make sure that they understand what you're trying to do, how you're doing it, and they agree that it's a good idea. But for us, that local incident ID, field 1813 it's required. There is no validation on it, and it's a unique identifier. An identifier must be unique for the incident within the incident, or unique for the incident within the school of attendance and academic year. So if you're changing that field on an incident that had multiple students, make sure that it is changed for all students across all file types. That way you will maintain the linkage of the incident. If you change it on just one file, you're going to have, or on just one record, you're going to have an orphan sitting out there or an incomplete incident. All right. All right, Larney, 309. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Cassie, 303. Q1. If a student has both a late plan review and a late reevaluation, how do we document the late plan review in CalPeds? In CalPeds OM, when adding plan records, there's no meeting delay code field. And when adding a meet record, there's no plan choice. There's only choices for evaluations, Part B initial, Part C initial, and reevaluation. Help, please. All right, so up on the screen, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, Martha.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, up on the screen, you'll see Alex is displaying the modal there, and she's hovering over the meeting activity plan review indicator. And so you're indicating that, yes, there was a meeting activity for this here, or you can say not applicable or no, but you do have an option there. Okay. All right, good. And Cassie, if you have more problems, put in a service desk ticket. I'm sure that we could probably walk you through that too. And Larney, I see your Q2 at 309. Hi, Mary. Q1 at 310. Q1 regarding the Ed Services field in each course section. At a continuation school where a regular English is taught by a teacher with the designated ELD credential, can this be coded with the designated and integrated services code, even though there are English only and ELD students in the course? Is Ed Services. Okay. Sorry, I'm catching up here. I need to refresh myself on the Ed Services English Learners fields. I don't know, Mary. I honestly don't. If anybody else wants to jump in, please feel free. Otherwise, I'm going to ask Mary to put in a service desk ticket.
I believe the answer is yes, but I can't see the question and I stopped trying to find stuff. So if you want to repeat the question for me, Paul.
Certainly. Q1 regarding the Ed Services field in each course section. At a continuation school where a regular English is taught by a teacher with the designated ELD credential, can this be coded with the designated and integrated services code, even though there are English only and ELD students in the class?
Yes, because it's not their primary language of instruction. So yes, you can put the 3 or the 4, integrated ELD instruction only or designated. Please ensure to review this with your credential analyst to ensure that the teacher has the correct clad or be clad for it. I don't recommend putting it at the course level, but more the section level. So it's captured in your CalPads course reporting and student course reporting. I don't know acronyms right now, I'm sorry. CRSE and SCSE. Yes, I think I got that right. There you go.
It's been a long week.
Yes, it's Wednesday. I'm just trying to make it to 4:00, everyone.
All right, thank you for that, Sean. At 3:15, Anna has a Q1. When is the proposed fall 1 certification date for the I'm sure you meant 24-25, a fall 1 deadline? Will it have an amendment window? I do not have that information. I'm sure it's still being discussed and decided upon. As soon as a decision is made, the CalPeds calendar will be updated to reflect that information, but we just do not have it at the moment. As soon as it becomes available, it will be yours. All right. Eva hey, I just sounded like Wally there for a minute. Eva at 3:16 Q1. What's the difference between 7.12 and 7.14? Well, this could go 2 different ways. That could be file types or reports. All right, 7 incident results details or incident offenses student list. Incident results kind of tells you what everybody got, suspensions, this, that, the other. And what was the other field? I'm sorry, the student list by offenses. So that one, it's going to organize by offense all of the incidents and who was involved in them. So it's just 2 different ways to represent the discipline data, so you can see it by offense or by student or whatever it is, but it's broken out differently so you can see it differently. And I'm sure that there was a reason for that, and I'm just not privy to it. And also, Kyron did put at 3:26 in the chat below your question a link to both of the report mapping guides. So they are right there, so you can do a compare and contrast with them. Lily 3:16 Q1. Last week I received a Cert 79 error for a 9231 course assigned to a special ed resource teacher. Is this a known issue? I removed the section in order to be able to certify. Cert 79, no enrollments for a course section. So I guess I would need to see the details of that. If the teacher was identified as 12, for their staff assignment, then yes, it needs to have students enrolled there. But if it's just a 27, then nothing would have to be enrolled there. No students, rather, no SSIDs would have to be enrolled there. But
they need to be reported as a 27.
right,
Job
there you go.
classification 27.
Yes, and thank you. You said it so much better than me. I was sitting here tongue-tied trying to read things and say things. Thank you, Kyron. I appreciate that. All right. So, Lily, you need to remedy that. It's generally make sure the teacher is coded as 27, itinerant, pull out, push in, not 12 teacher. Because if they're a 12 teacher, they required SCSE enrollment in the course section, whereas the itinerant does not. All right, Mary, I see your Q2. We'll come back to you. Tanya at 318. We have a few unique situations for a student enrollment withdrawals. We are not sure how best to exit students. A student who enrolls with our independent study while waiting for their IEP. They are able to do the work in the independent study school, but decide not to attend the county special education. Our district does not offer the services, and this is a kindergartner. They withdrew the student. What exit code is appropriate and other similar situation? A student on an IEP enrolls with our independent study school, but does not do the required work. Their parent says they are attending another school, but they have not turned up in CalPads with another enrollment. Exited in December 2023. What's the best way to exit this student? Okay. Let's see. Exit students. So if they were enrolled pending an evaluation, I guess I would not have put them at the independent study school. I would have put them at the district office, and everything there would have been pending evaluation, pending evaluation, pending evaluation. And that would have allowed the possibility of just N470ing it and calling it a day. Now that there's an independent study school, I'm not sure how we're going to go about that. Let's see. So if it's not offered service, so there was a sped eval, they were found eligible, but your district did not offer those services at that school. So the parent withdrew. So would that be something special, or would that just be a withdrawal after an evaluation? So we could N470 it. I'm talking out loud here. I'm not sure.
I would review Brandy's PowerPoint and webinar for the SPED enrollments and exits. Because there's a lot going on with this student, and I have a few questions, like, did they put the kid back in kindergarten? I mean, not in kindergarten, in preschool. Like, there's a lot going on. So, Tanya, one, I would say review that, but then two, you really might need a service ticket because I have questions for you on top of your 3 or 4 questions. So, just a little bit.
Yeah, send in
Alex?
that service ticket. Tanya, can you include the SSID or the SSIDs so that we can look into that record?
Yeah, thank you, Milo, because I saw that too. She was like, we have a few situations. I was like, I don't think all of this is one situation. So yeah, that's why I was like,
Thank you.
Thank you, Milo. Thank you, Sean. At 3:18, Marshall has posted a link to the YouTube channel. And as a reminder, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get updates and know that when we post new content. You're welcome. Yeah, there you go. 3:05, I see your Q2, Rebecca. All right. All right, now we've got a shuffled deck again. Now I got to find things. All right. All right, Charlene, 312 Q1. Our business service department is looking for a breakdown info on students' race for particular grade levels. What report should I be looking at? And Kyron responded, run the 1.3. And that's correct. Yeah, the 1.3. Anyway, Ray at 324, is there a date for when the new income eligibility scales for school year 24-25 will be released?
We do not, CalPADS office does not have that information. I will put that in the chat. I've gotten a few questions on that one this week. Sadly, that is not our office, but I will give you who to reach out to.
Thanks, Sean. Going down to Anna 326 Q1. Could you please explain when I should use exit code E156? Yes. The E156 is an extension of the E155. E155 should be used at the end of a school year when you expect a student to return the following year and they are in grades K through 11. At grade 12, the E156 takes over to differentiate them. If you know that your 12th grader will be returning next year, whether it's because they are returning to complete their high school credits or in whatever way becoming a fifth-year senior, that is how you would code them. If they are a student with disabilities who are completing and then returning for transitional services, traditionally that's been done with an E23120 exit code / completion code that puts them out. And then the next year you enroll them as a primary 12th grader with the transitional indicator on the SENR record set to yes. And then at the end of every year that they're in transitional services, because they're a grade 12 student who are expected to return the following year, you exit them as E156. So I think that covers the two main, really the two only times you would use it is grade 12 students who didn't complete high school and are going to be known to be returning next year, E156. If they are a student with disabilities in transition, known to be returning next year, E156, both grade 12. All right. All right, I'm again going through a shuffled deck, so I apologize if I'm missing anything. Suan at 331 writes, Q1, is there a document that lists all of the CalPeds reporting periods, fall 1 through end of year, with the detailed lists on what data is reported, EL, SPED, etc., where it is reported, state, federal departments, etc., and the funding that it is generated impacted by each reporting item? I need to provide some of this, some push for a district. And then Angela did provide where the CalPeds data are used. Up on the screen, you can see that. And Suanne is asking, is that been updated or will there be an update to that soon? And I do not know if there will be an update.
It's
On the
updated
footer.
recently,
had-
November.
Yep.
I don't know when it will next be updated, but it's fairly
When we
recent.
start a new school year, I'll update it again.
Perfect. Thank you, Angela. Thank you, Martha. All right, so that's 79. It looks like Sean at 336 responded to the rates eligibility scales and funding at the 336 mark with a link to the nutrition services section and phone numbers. So if you needed to get a hold of that or follow it, there's the information. Maria at 332 asked where she could get the PowerPoint presentation for students with disabilities, and that was posted. All right, going down. Dun, dun, dun. All right, I think I hit all the Q1s. I'm going back up. I'm going to start hitting everything else. So if I missed your Q1, I apologize. Please put a note at the bottom, and as I reach the bottom, I will go back up and search for it. All right, Cassie, Q2 303. The student was exited from SPED over 1 year ago. There is an existing SACE record for the student. We requested a transfer of the SACE record because the student will be reassessed for SPED. This student is showing up on our 16.21 report as an overdue plan review. What do we do on this? Do we go into CalPADS OM to put the pending record in with the delay reason of transfer?
So one of the things that you said that sort of triggered me was that the student was exited from special education. So I would need to know whether they were exited as ineligible after a reevaluation, or if they were exited because the parent elected not to receive services at this time, right? So bottom line is, if they're showing as late, if they have not been participating all of this time, the reason they're showing on 1621 is because, okay, so exited parent revocation. So in this case, it looks like the exit may not have been reported, Cassie, was because the student is showing as eligible and participating in CalPADS right now. So what you need to do is send up a SWDS record reflecting the actual exit, the fact that they were exited because of parent revocation. So it would be a withdrawal code. So you need to make sure that that is reflected in CalPADS. And then once the student is reevaluated and determined to be eligible, then you could submit a subsequent SWDS record. So what, but you have to do that first. Okay.
Thank you, Brandy.
No problem.
All right, going down. Diane, I see your Q2. I think we already talked about it, how to get the training for your coworkers, get them the access, and in the meantime, you can put them into the YouTube channel and they can get all the training they need. All right, still scrolling. Okay, Larney, Q2 at 309. What is the importance of the data local assignment option code attached to a section? What is it used for in terms of CTC credentialing or avoiding exceptions? And it looks like Kyron did post a resource on that below. The assignment options link.
And just kind of at a high level, local assignment options are used to identify when teachers may be teaching out of field or on, let's say, emergency permits, but they are legally assigned. That is, a local assignment option is a waiver that a local school district can say, I want this teacher to teach here, and that document makes them legally assigned for CalSAS monitoring. However, those local assignment options, it's important to understand that when you're on a local assignment option, it doesn't mean for purposes of reporting for ESSA that you will show up as appropriately assigned. You may show up in other categories like out of field or ineffective, but it does make them legally assigned at the state level.
Thank you for that summary.
No problem.
Okay, 316, Mary Masters Q2. If an ELD student is mostly in classes with Ed Service Code 3 of Integrated ELD Services, and the student is receiving designated ELD services in at least one class, will there be an error or misassignment of some kind if the student is also in a CTE course with an ED services code of 5, no EL services? So effectively, all other courses on their schedule have some sort of support, but the one CTE course does not. Will that appear as an exception? That's how I'm reading that question.
Is it an EL? So I'm reading it. It's an EL student, correct?
Yes.
And so if it's an EL student, are they receiving do they have a pullout class of designated? Do they have a a departmentalized pullout class that has where they are receiving those services? If that is not reported, then if you have an EL student and a class that there are no English learner services being received, then yes, that will count against you in your CalSAS.
Including CTE, right?
Yes,
So,
yes, including CTE, yes. Thank you, Mindy, for
yeah,
adding
but
that.
it will only generate, only generate an exception for that CTE class. So if they're receiving EL services in all of their other classes and the teachers assigned to those classes have the appropriate authorizations, the teachers should be okay. It's just your CTE teacher. It is going to generate an exception because if there are English learners enrolled in that class, the expectation is that you're going to provide EL services within those classes as well.
Okay. Moving down, 305, Rebecca. Q2, if we have an LEA admin certifier leaving this year, June 30th, when should we submit a ticket to have her removed and another director assigned to this role? And Kyron did respond saying, as early as the times you want that new person to have access to the LEA admin role, please note that the LEA admin role only allows you to create user accounts. So it's more about those certifier roles is what I'm reading from that. So if you have somebody who you want to put into the admin role, just as soon as you put in that application, know that your active admin will probably be deactivated very quickly. The new one put into place. So if you want an overlap in their job times, so one could teach the other, you might want to have that happen. And as for the certifier roles, you can assign that to anybody who has a CalPads account. So if you just want to create a certifier, somebody who just goes in, reviews reports, and presses the button, you can do that. So you don't have to be an LEA admin to be a certifier. All right, scrolling. All right, Lily, 322 Q2. We are a large district and have not been able to run the 3.8 report. Do we need to run the report for a few schools at a time? The 3.8 is one of the extracts, isn't it? Yes, if you go to the extract screen, you can go to those supporting reports and actually pull down a 3.8 report, and it pulls it down into a format that's much smaller, allows you to then get the data out and not have to run it in smaller batches. And of course, CalPeds looks like it's going so quickly to do that for you. But there you go. So you should be able to pull the 3.8 that way. If you need additional help, please put in a service desk ticket and we'll help you there. All right, Q2 for Bavita at 327. At Q2, if a student's address is incorrect, where would the EBT card be delivered? And it looks like Thor did respond saying, hello, a summer EBT flash is in the works and should be coming out soon. I recommend your LEA to reach out to the family and make sure the address is correct in CalPads.
Thanks, Thor.
All right, 338, Terry, Q2. If a student has an E156 fifth-year graduate, will they be dropped from the original cohort and added to the following year's cohort? No, they will not. The cohort is designed to compare apples to apples. It's a 4-year window. Everyone has 4 years. Doesn't matter what happens in that 4 years, you got a 4-year window. When it starts, the clock starts ticking. At the end of that 4 years, clock stops ticking. We report what is at that time. That's what the cohort is. If a student leaves the country, they get removed from the cohort. If they, leave the state, they get removed from the cohort because they're going to get put into a cohort. So long as they're in a United States school, they're going to end up in a cohort somewhere. So there are very few exceptions where they get removed from your cohort. Yeah, and that at the end of their 4 years, you're going to say, oh, they didn't finish their requirements. So for federal reporting, they're going to be reported as not a graduate. It's a binary reporting. Graduate, not a graduate. They will be reported as not a graduate. Everything else is constructed from CDE to give you insights, to give you depth on your data, to say, well, I know I have this stack of non-grads, wonder what they are. Well, CDE tells you, oh, they were, this group was still enrolled. They wanted to keep going. And that's demonstrated by having an enrollment in the next academic year posted to CalPads using an enrollment start date prior to the next census day, and having that enrollment posted to CalPads by the end of the cohort reporting window, which coincides with the end of the EOY reporting window. So you need to have their next enrollment posted to CalPads to have them counted in a bucket that's not a dropout. So there's a lot going on in your question, but there is a very good training series on our YouTube channel discussing it. And I say it's very good because, of course, the analysts did it. So, superior in all ways. And that's a joke because our trainers are superior to us in every way possible. And that's just putting that out there. Okay. Let's see, going down. That's Larney 343 Q3. Just like the resource section for state course code 9231 special ed and teacher librarian for state course code 9214, are all teachers that have a non-classroom based assignment of 27, even if it's only 5 or 20% FTE, required to have CRSE record with the state course code submitted with or without a student enrollment. It's if you have an itinerant 27 pull-out push-in teacher, you have two options. Give them CRSE record with them as the teacher. And if that's the case, it does not require the SCSE file. Or in their SAS record, you assign them a non-classroom based job assignment. And that has to be, something that falls into that valid code combination. And because Alex is the best presenter ever. There you go. There are all your options for 27 itinerant pull in, push out. Those are all of their non-classroom job-based assignments that they can use. So you can use one of those, or you can create a CRSE record using them. Yeah, as the teacher. All right. Q1, Q3. Mary Masters 347 Q3. Can a program code for 181 and 182 for introduced meals use the district as the school to avoid having to fill out the alt income forms when changing between schools within our district? No, the programs are school specific. It's you can't create an LEA level FRPM record for the students, so it carries across all the schools with them. It would have to be created at each school that they attend.
Not necessarily. If they use Aries, Paul, I don't know if that's necessarily
Sean, are we
true.
talking about Aries or are we talking about CalPads?
Oh, yes. Okay, great. Thank you. Good job. I'll be quiet now.
I know that there's a lot of variations out there between your SISs, and some of your SISs give you little gifts like that. But in CalPads, that record needs to exist at each school that they attend, not at the district. Okay, so that's a CalPads thing. If your SIS is doing something different and giving you gifts, make sure to put them on your Christmas card list. Okay, that's done. Down, still looking. Okay. All right, Soraya, do you happen to know or yet? Okay, Soraya, you say that you don't believe your Q2 is answered. Do you happen to know the timestamp that's at so I can try and find it?
Type it in again.
Yeah, if you can just copy and paste it into the bottom, that would be great. Oh, 301. Oh, 301. Geez. All the way to the top again. Oh, okay. I see. Got it. Soraya 301 Q2. Our HR team is questioning whether or not a college course with EL enrollment and EDU service code will trigger a misassignment for that college course section. Can you please speak to that situation so our team can report back to HR?
It might depend whether it's a college credit only or if it's a dual credit course. But the CalPads office should probably confirm with CTC on what exact logic that they're using. And if they're generating exceptions for college credit courses that have English learners enrolled, if they don't have appropriately credentialed teachers. Because honestly, I don't know.
So a ticket for that one?
Yes.
All right, Soraya, please put in a CalPeds service desk ticket for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Brandy.
All
No
right,
problem.
and with that, we are at 354. At the bottom of the list, I don't see any new questions down there yet. Does anybody have anything that they need to address with the group? Are we good?
I just want to reiterate, like, as one of the last newbies here, I just want to say congratulations to Dominic.
You're no longer
Yes,
the bottom of the totem pole, Sean. Somebody's
I know.
newer.
I think Milo came in after me, so I was like, yay, too. But then I was
Yeah.
like, yay, but I'm really not.
Pretty
So I'm like, okay, thank you.
Welcome,
And
Dominic.
it looks
we're
like,
looking forward to working with you next week.
Yes, indeed. And it looks like we did have a couple questions come in, so we get to revisit this. Mary Masters, 354 Q4. Speaking of dual credit courses, is it possible for CalPads to consider a dual credit course as an AP course at the same time? Do they need to use the same field? Do they not use the same field?
So I know for purposes of CCI, AP courses do not count towards college credit. I can tell you that for sure. So even if it is an AP course, they won't count it towards college credit. So you shouldn't identify them as college credit.
Very good. 355, Susan, Q1. Where in the code sets would I find the self-contained courses listed?
There's only one.
Yeah, it's course code 1000
Yeah.
is self-contained. Oh, got to clear your filters. There you go. And Chrissy is saying that she is sad over there. And it looks like I missed something at 343, so I'm going to go hunting. All right, 343, Rosario Q1. I came in late to the Q&A. How does a special ed student qualify to graduate with an alternative pathway diploma? What is the criteria?
And Rebecca put a link to one of our letters that's up on the CD website, and I just sort of summarized it below.
All right, thank you very much, everybody. Oh, Susan at 356 Q2, does course code 1000 work for special education classes? And Brandy responded, yes, with instructional strategy 700. All right. And again, it looks like we are at the bottom and at 357. So we have 3 minutes left before I'm officially stealing minutes of your day. All right.
Donovan, just go ahead and post it again, please. We'll gladly answer it.
Q1, with annual determination letters being sent soon, are there any plans from CDE to revise their process to include an announcement of when they're going to pull overdue IEP data, or will they be pressuring SACE to add CalPads transactions to nightly integration maintenance?
So Donovan, I can tell you that the process for pulling the data for the annual determination letters and the late meetings, those data were pulled on March 1st. Because we're sending them out on March 18th, we did not have the time to pull the data on a later date because generating those letters for each district and all of the data that goes within those letters, my team has been working on that now for 2 weeks. So the process this year is not going to change, but here's what I can tell all of you for next year. And I believe Shiloh had mentioned this at State SELPA. Next year, the annual determination letters are going to come out much earlier. But what that means is that the data that you are certifying in CalPads on the initial certification date, okay, so we're not talking about the amendment window closing, the initial certification date, that's the same data typically that they pull for the LCFF apportionment. And that deadline is typically in December. So in December, we are going to pull your data and your students that will be counted for your late meetings. Okay, so we're going to look at the kids that were enrolled on Census Day as of that initial certification deadline, and we're going to take a look at which of those students had late meetings. Okay, so presumably you're working from kids on October 4th. You've got all the way until December to make sure their meeting information is up to date, and we will pull it right after that initial certification deadline. That is the plan for next year. I'm telling you right now, so you can start working on making sure that meeting information for students who are enrolled on Census Day is up to date before we pull it after the initial cert deadline. So I know that's probably not what you wanted to hear for this year, Donovan, but that is what we're going to be doing in subsequent years.
Well, thank you, Brandy.
You're welcome.
All right, and with that, I think, oh, wait a minute. Sue-Ann at 4 o'clock's got, or keeps popping up. Brandy, will that be communicated in a flash before next December? And you said yes.
Yeah, I know this is going to be a big lift because what it means is LEAs are going to have to get the SELPA approved by that initial deadline. So yeah, we are going to be communicating it out.
All right, excellent. Thank you. We are now at 4:01. We're officially on your time. Thank you all for being here. As always, very enjoyable, good time for everybody. If you have an issue between now and the next Q&A, please open a CalPeds service desk ticket so we can help you as quickly as possible. If your Fall 2 is still not certified, please make that a priority. Have a great week, and we will see you next week.